Previously on Hunting Hitler.
So this is from June 12, 1945. Look at this line. At this time, the decision had been taken to divide the ministries in two parts and establish one government in the north and one in the south.
They're splitting up. We have to look at both routes.
The Nazis falsified British money.
Counterfeit money?
Yes, it was hidden here in the area.
So they hid it with the intention of coming back for it.
Yes.
This was the dead drop for the escaping Nazis.
They tried to transport heavy water out of Norway.
Was Narvik the staging point to send heavy water to Argentina, to make a nuclear bomb, to create the Fourth Reich?
There's a pushing Nazi seaplane here. This is absolutely incredible. We have eyes on a Nazi U-boat. This thing is huge. What is it doing here? We'll be heading to the surface in a few minutes.
Along Hitler's potential northern escape route in Narvik, Norway, U.S. Army Special Forces Tim Kennedy has made a massive discovery that could change the course of the investigation.
Never seen anything like it ever.
Sunken Nazi vessels in the same area where eyewitnesses and a declassified U.S. Army file claim that Nazis were transporting nuclear material out of the country.
There's a complete, massive U-boat.
Yeah.
Just laid on the ocean floor. While we didn't find any barrels of heavy water, this is an unbelievable discovery. This is massive infrastructure. Something very important to the Nazis was going on right here.
Look at the size of this airplane. It was huge. And it's sitting right next to a U-boat.
21-year CIA veteran Bob Baer and former terrorist targeting officer Neda Bakos are using an asset mapping strategy, tracking Hitler's known associates to pinpoint exactly where the Fuhrer could have gone after World War II.
Clearly, for the Nazis, Narvik was a major militarized port.
They are investigating two potential escape routes for Hitler: a southern route through the Tyrol border region and a northern route through Narvik, Norway, where they discovered the remains of two large Nazi vessels.
The question is, were these used in conjunction with each other, or did they just happen to be at the port around the same time?
The fact they were found together, it's very strange. And my experience tells me it was not for local defense. So what were they doing with them? Look at this, OSS, predecessor of the CIA, March 15th, 1943. Message from Colonel von Losberg. I have spoken about refueling seaplanes from U-boats. A possibility is to station a U-boat in the Atlantic, and when the weather is favorable, it signals. What they're talking about here is flying seaplanes out, rallying with a U-boat in the middle of the Atlantic, refueling, and sending the seaplanes on. What these U-boats are gasoline stations in the middle of the Atlantic. Look, you've got about 8,000 miles from Narvik to Argentina.
And the seaplanes have a range of 3,000 to 4,000 miles, so you'd only have to refuel it once or twice before it got to South America.
At the beginning of the investigation, we looked at the possibility that Hitler got to Spain and then took a U-boat. It never quite worked in my mind because he was in bad health. I just couldn't imagine Adolf Hitler, as ill as he was, getting on a U-boat for 30 days. But now that we know that they were using seaplanes being refueled by U-boats in the middle of the ocean, it makes a lot more sense.
This opens up a whole new set of options for Hitler to get out of Europe.
For me, this is the logical end of the northern route. Getting a seaplane to South America from Narvik, 100% certainty you could do it. If anybody's capable of using a combination of a seaplane and a U-boat, it's the Germans. Had they mastered the technique, they could have gotten multiple seaplanes across the Atlantic. We have the end of our escape route. I think it's a huge breakthrough. We now have to figure out whether the southern route would have also gotten him to South America.
Having found the end of Hitler's potential northern escape route to South America, Bob and Nada turned their attention to the southern escape route to uncover whether it could have also provided Hitler safe passage to South America. They focus on a castle in Tyrol, which according to a declassified US Army file, was run by high-level SS commander Friedrich Schwend.
The Tyrol border region between Italy and Austria was crawling with Nazis. The team found the castle where Schwend, who was reporting to Kaltenbrunner and Himmler, was burying stashes for fleeing Nazis. Schwend is a key part of the Southern Network. He's a high-ranking Nazi. He's burying stashes. Clearly, he's a facilitator helping Nazis escape along this southern route.
The question is, what were in these stashes? I mean, normally you would have new documentation, passports, gold, for instance. But what they really need to know is, once you're here, what's your onward destination?
If we're able to find one of these stashes, it could be a big breakthrough. That could open up the entire Southern Network to us. We could find out how they escaped and possibly where they were headed.
Look at this. US Army, the Hotel Paradiso served as a hiding place for trustworthy Nazis, such as Friedrich Schwend. Schwend used his gold to plan possible escape routes. This file is telling us this was part of a clandestine organization, a hiding place for trustworthy Nazis. This is more evidence this is where those stashes were.
Where is Hotel Paradiso?
Right in the same region as the castle. In the mountains, very isolated. If you're gonna hide dead drops or stashes, you do it in these mountains. So far we've heard rumors of stashes, but I want to see some sort of evidence to back that up.
How far's the border from here? We're pretty close, aren't we?
We're pretty darn close, I believe.
In the Tyrol region, on the border between Austria and Italy, World War II historian James Holland and U.S. Army Green Beret Mike Simpson arrive at the Hotel Paradiso.
Look at this place. What we need to find out is whether Hotel Paradiso is a viable place in which to hide a Nazi safety deposit box. They could have buried documents, treasure, gold, who knows what.
You know, the building's bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's a monster.
It's almost like they had plans for this to be something pretty major.
Yeah, bought at some point in the war by Schwend, and I'm guessing Schwend bought it because, you know, he can hide people in here. This is going to be an isolated place where Schwend can do what he likes.
If you wanted a place to have a safe deposit box that somebody could pick up some ready cash to cross the border, this would certainly be on the list of places where I would put it. Hotel Paradiso is very remote. It's really the ideal location, but if I'm Schwend and I'm trying to hide these articles to be found later, I'm not going to use the building itself. People coming in and out of the hotel could stumble upon it accidentally. If we're gonna locate one of these Nazi dead drops, these safe deposit boxes, it's gonna be buried somewhere in the property.
This is a pretty big property,
Yeah.
so we've got to pick our spot, haven't we?
Yeah, we need a little bit of technology on this.
In order to help narrow down their search of the hotel property, which covers an area of more than 500,000 square feet, Mike contacts LiDAR USA's European technician Travis Widener, who brings in state-of-the-art technology.
Hey! What's up, man?
Drone-mounted LiDAR utilizes laser pulses to produce detailed 3D renderings capable of revealing anomalies below the surface of the Earth within millimeter precision. LiDAR technology has enabled archaeologists to discover lost Mayan civilizations in the rainforests of Honduras.
What size cache are we talking here?
Probably something somebody could have dug up, grabbed, walked away with. Big, backpack, suitcase size.
Let's get a 3D model of the area, and then we can decide where exactly we can dig.
That's amazing. I love that.
To properly scan for anomalies in the soil, the team deploys the LiDAR in a grid search flight pattern, covering the entire hotel property, plus an area 60 feet beyond the hotel grounds, to ensure they don't miss any potential targets.
So is this about how far you guys wanted to go out?
Yeah, right about there looks right.
Okay.
So how long is this going to take to do?
Oh, probably 5 minutes tops.
Really?
To run the
As
whole
little
flight.
as that?
Yeah.
Amazing.
21st century technology, James.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine if we didn't have this.
We'd be out here for days.
Nicely done.
And we'll get to processing this data. Here's the data. Boot her up here. Here we go.
Oh, wow, look at
Ooh.
that. There's the building. Oh, my God, look
at that.
all the trees. That's incredible.
Look at all the texture that gives you. I mean, it's really three-dimensional.
Okay. So how do we spot these potential holes in the ground?
Well, we're gonna look for raised areas or depressed areas.
Got you. Anything that doesn't look natural.
That's right. We might have to get rid of some of these trees to see the surface.
Wow, look at that.
What's this?
That's a nice
See that
little
ripple
pit.
right there? Yeah.
I see that.
That's uphill from where the runoff is. That's not a natural place that you're gonna get an indentation like that.
That's a great observation. It's in a completely unnatural spot.
Mm-hmm. It's plain as day right there.
I'll just mark it really quick.
What's this? You got high area and then boop, like right there. There's a dip right there.
I'm gonna mark this dip.
There's two sites in particular that could be where Nazi safety deposit boxes were buried 70 years ago. And if we can find just one, it would give us one of the best preserved blueprint for some kind of escape plan for the Nazis at the end of the war.
Great points to start with. We need to start digging. If the Nazis buried anything here, this is the way we're gonna find it.
At a former Nazi hotel along Hitler's potential southern escape route in the Tyrol border region, James and Mike are searching for the hidden location of an underground stash, which, according to declassified reports, could have been used to facilitate the escape of high-ranking Nazis at the end of the war.
So we've got two spots. I'll walk you right over to it. We're looking for a meter by a meter, okay? And probably not quite a meter deep, okay? All right, we'll take you over to the first spot. In this area, the soil is thickly packed. It's gonna be difficult for just James and I and one shovel to dig here. Sometimes you gotta bring in your big guns.
The team has called in an excavator to expedite their search. The team directs the excavator operator to begin digging on the first of two anomalies they found using LiDAR technology.
Right there. At this moment, we actually could be finding one of these Nazi safe deposit boxes. We're talking about caches for Nazis on the run, with money, maps, contacts, whatever they needed. It's pretty thick. We wouldn't have been able to make it through this on our own. That size is perfect. Just go deep. Ooh, lots of rock here. Look at this.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a rebar.
Yeah, well, and this is pipe. Oh, that's, whoo.
I mean, that's just rubble from the resort, isn't it?
Right.
There's a rebar there, there's bits of sewage piping, there's brick. I mean, there's no one's going to be burying anything in that.
Yeah, you smell that. That's an old-fashioned ceramic pipe, so that's probably the original pipe where the sewage came out of this building. So, now we know why there's a depression here. Basically, this is the septic system, and that's why it sank in right here.
Yeah.
All right, let's walk him over to position 2.
The excavator moves 150 feet to the other anomaly the team identified with LiDAR.
Wait, go ahead.
Oh, look at that.
Not as rocky.
Yeah, it's perfect.
The second location initially looks very promising. This area is not rocky. The soil is coming up very easily. This would have been an ideal spot to bury something. Go ahead and hold up right there, okay? I don't want him to dig with this any farther. If they're hiding something, this is the depth that we need to start looking for. If we keep going with these big teeth, we risk damaging whatever it might be.
Yeah, I agree.
What's that?
That looks like a shovel to me. How about that?
This is old.
It's rusted.
Mm-hmm. Based on the rust and the appearance of this shovel head, I think it dates back before 1950. I really think that this broke off while somebody was digging. It's bent, the handle's missing.
Well, I can tell you, it's hard work digging into that.
Yeah.
But not impossible.
This clearly means someone else was digging in this exact same spot. The question is, was this shovel here while someone was either putting in or removing one of these safe deposit boxes? Or was it a treasure hunter just looking in the same area that we were?
Oh, I think it's pretty clear there's nothing else in there, is there?
I think it's reasonable to assume that something could have been hidden here.
Yep.
But at this point, we have to assume that whatever it is long gone. I mean, look at how much territory there is, but one of the two places we marked on the LiDAR, somebody else was digging as well, which I find to be a strange coincidence.
You can hide stuff in this hotel, no doubt about it.
Bob and Nada review the findings from Hitler's potential southern escape route in Tyrol, where a declassified U.S. Army report claims the SS were burying money and escape plans for fleeing Nazis on the property of an Alpine hotel.
The team searched the area with the LiDAR, and they found a couple of disturbances in the soil. And one of the things they uncovered was the shovel that was broken.
This is 70 years later. This site probably very quickly got looted. You know, we should have been looking in 1945.
In my experience, whenever I'd hit a dead end like this, I'd always go back and look at the network we've already established. We know the network was active in this place, so in the absence of any physical evidence, let's see if we can pick up the trail on anyone who would have used this route or picked up one of these stashes.
Case, cache, networks, there we go.
This is from CIA, Eichmann's flight. So here's Eichmann showing up again on the southern route. Fully inconspicuous, I took my suitcase from this excellent priest from Vipiteno, beyond the Italian border over the Brenner Pass. So we have dead drops in this area. Eichmann is picking up one of them.
Look, what's incredible about this is a priest, according to Eichmann, providing assistance to a mass murderer after World War II.
So here's Vipiteno. It's on the border between Austria and Italy, and it's only 45 miles to the Hotel Paradiso. We need to figure out what this priest was doing. What part does this priest play in the southern escape route?
Yeah, is it one guy, is it one priest, or is it a lot of people? We got to get the team to find out.
We've confirmed that Eichmann was here. I mean, that's not even in question. So now we just need to get the details.
Along Hitler's potential southern escape route, Mike, James, and their translator Katya land in Vipiteno, a town in the Tyrol border region.
Hello, James. Nice to meet you.
The team makes contact with historian Dr. Dietrich Thaler at the Lady of the Moss Church, which according to declassified documents, was connected to a priest assisting in the escape of high-ranking Nazis, including Adolf Eichmann, after the war.
We've learned that the priest here, just after the war, was helping a number of Nazis that were on the run. We wondered whether you can help us in any way.
Trotzdem sind natürlich in der Bevölkerung einer kleinen Stadt verschiedene Geschichten erhalten geblieben.
He says very little official research exists on the subject, but there are still a lot of stories within the community.
Well, that's magnificent, isn't it?
Do you actually know who the priest was at that time?
In dieser Zeit war war Dekan Corradini.
The priest at the time was called Corradini. Corradini was here for 20 years, and he would give aid to Nazis fleeing through the area. Thousands were coming through here.
So what we've got here is Father Corradini housing them, giving them help. I mean, what else is he doing?
There's documentation that they were rebaptized.
Baptized? Why?
Darüber ist für mich bis heute unerschlossen.
He doesn't know.
This is bizarre to me, James. A baptism. I am completely revolted by this information. Being baptized as a Catholic means you are cleansed of all sins you have previously committed. I don't buy that high-ranking Nazis known to have committed mass murder really repented of their sins. You see this baptismal record. This is pretty standard. Would there have been a baptismal record of that time?
There are registries dating back over centuries. He's going to check and see if it's possible that we take a look at them.
Dr. Thaler secures access to the church's sealed records archive, a collection of documents dating back hundreds of years.
So this is from 1943 onwards.
A lot to go through here.
I mean, there's so many German names here. Oh my God. There's no record that Eichmann was baptized here. But look at that.
What's that?
Priebke, Eric. He's a known Nazi war criminal. And he escaped to Argentina. And he lived there a free man for more than 50 years in Bariloche.
This links the rat line going through this church to Bariloche. That's a hard data point. That's major.
Erich Priebke was an SS commander who was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of Italian civilians in an action called the Ardeatine Massacre. After the war, he successfully went underground and escaped Europe, surfacing in 1949 in Bariloche, Argentina, the same town where the team had previously uncovered a safe house linked to Adolf Hitler.
The legends tells about the whole thing with the Hitler's house. You know, it's a kind of a creepy place.
This is also really interesting. He gets another identity. He wasn't called Erich Priebke anymore. He went as Otto Pape.
Erich Priebke had been cleansed. He came here as a fleeing Nazi war criminal with the blood of hundreds on his hands, got complete absolution for that, and left here a new man with a fresh start and a new name.
What's amazing is you've got two really well-known war criminals here. One, Adolf Eichmann, we know he was here. Then we've got Erich Priebke too, another really infamous war criminal. And he's not just being held by Corradini, he's being baptized. And we know that both men ended up in South America with completely different names.
If Austria is where the Nazis shed their skin, then South Tyrol is where they were born again and assumed a new identity. Thus far, we've been able to establish that Nazis shed their identities in Austria.
Everyone threw everything away because then no one was a Nazi.
Eine neue Welt.
These Nazis then moved to the Tyrol region, retrieved caches of loot, were able to be baptized, assume new identities, and then move on. This unassuming Catholic Church is possibly the most important point on the rat line. Any high-level Nazis who entered this church could have left this church with a new identity and a new life ahead of them.
I think this is big. You've got Erich Priebke, comes to this church, is rebaptized. It looks like it's organized to me.
Bob Baer and Neda Bakos review the findings from Hitler's potential southern escape route through Tyrol, where a declassified CIA document reports that a local priest was aiding in the escape of fleeing Nazis.
The fact that there was a priest willing to help a Nazi gain a new identity really expands their ability to be able to move out of Germany, out of Austria, and down into Italy for passage out of Europe.
I think that's huge. Priebke was given new documentation here, and he was known to have been involved in massacres.
What this is doing is just giving them a new name so they could start a new life, and they no longer have to answer for the crimes that they committed.
In 1945, people didn't have the internet. They didn't have facial recognition. These Nazi war criminals changed their names and just disappeared, and people didn't know who they were. You simply assume a different nationality, get new paperwork for it, and then you completely wash yourself clean. We've got records of these guys being baptized. We've got Eichmann saying that a priest helped him. What I'm seeing is a pattern of activity of protecting high-ranking Nazis. I've seen this before.
Previously in the investigation, the team uncovered evidence that Catholic priests were aiding in the escape of Nazis at 2 separate monasteries in Spain, one in Galicia.
Germans come here in the monastery, and they used to do false documents to give them a new identity.
And another outside of Barcelona.
Visitó Montserrat Himmler.
¿Otra vez?
Himmler.
A Nazi war criminal would want somewhere discreet. Frankly, he couldn't ask for a better place.
What I don't know is if it was part of a bigger organization. I mean, how extensive was this?
The Catholic Church is one of the biggest human networks in the world. If the Nazis could tap into that network, that would provide them with supply lines to be able to funnel people and goods and safe havens all over the world. Is it the entire church? Is it an organization within the church? Is it an individual priest?
Yeah, we need to find that out.
Bob and Nada make contact with Professor Jonathan Steinberg.
Hi.
Hello.
The former chair of the history department at the University of Pennsylvania and one of the world's foremost experts on the history of the Catholic Church during and after World War II.
I've spent a long time doing research on the relationship between Italian Catholicism and politics in Italy. I hope I can help.
We have found records of a priest in the South Tyrol baptizing Nazis. Is it your opinion he was acting on his own or he was acting with somebody else?
It's inconceivable that a Catholic priest in that situation would be working with someone.
So he just wasn't a Nazi sympathizer, this is approved, and somebody blesses this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Must have. You must have somebody in the hierarchy who covers it. It's that kind of organization.
Was the Catholic Church involved in getting Nazis out of Germany to Argentina?
Yes, it was. Some branch of the church, but most of it is absolutely unofficial.
What incentive would these priests and cardinals have to help some of these Nazi officers escape?
Because the Nazis were against communism. That's why the Nazis were supported. Communism, evil. If you have to choose 2 evils, Nazis don't destroy churches.
If Hitler were to show up, what are the chances of the faction of the church that helped the Nazis picking him up and sending him to Argentina?
Absolutely. They would certainly have done that. You have to remember, when the war ends, there is only one institution in the entire European continent which is intact, and that's the church.
The Catholic Church operates as a government. It's sovereign, it's off limits to the American government. Had it wanted to, the Catholic Church could have smuggled Hitler out. He just completely ruled out the possibility that the priest helping with Priebke was acting on his own. It wasn't a Nazi sympathizer saying, I'll do a favor for these guys. It was part of the church.
It's a network that anybody could fall back on at this point.
Now that we have brought the Catholic Church in, and this convinces me that if you could find the right set of people in the church, you could move Adolf Hitler. It's clear to me that the people in the church were helping, but how were they doing it? Let's see what we can find in the database. Here we go. U.S. Army summary of Nazi activity in Rome. Many prominent war criminals are living in Rome illegally under false names All this activity seems to stem from the Vatican through the monastery of San Girolamo. This is huge. We've got the army recognizing this in a classified document that it's the Vatican that is processing these Nazis.
Serving as the central governing body of the Catholic Church, the Vatican is a sovereign city-state ruled by the Pope. Located on 110 acres within the city limits of Rome, Italy, the Vatican operates with complete independence, minting its own currency, issuing passports, and maintaining a state military force known as the Pontifical Swiss Guard.
Look, here's the Vatican, and here we have San Girolamo. It's just over a mile away from the Vatican. We are in the Vatican's front yard, and you're having a monastery processing Nazi war criminals in 1945. If we can find evidence of how exactly this monastery was helping Nazis, we could unlock the final piece of the puzzle of the southern escape route. We have to get people out there and see what this place was.
It's important that we put eyes and ears in this place.
Along Hitler's potential southern escape route in Rome, Italy, former U.S. Marshals Commander Lenny DePaul, investigative journalist Gerard Williams, and their local contact Marcel head to the San Girolamo Monastery, where a declassified U.S. Army document claims the Catholic Church was assisting high-ranking Nazis to escape from Europe at the end of the war.
We've been told that a network of priests in the Catholic Church who were involved in the escape of Nazis after World War II. But it's still something that doesn't really fit with me.
Marcel, lead the way.
How you can be a man of the cloth and at the same time support people who committed such huge crimes, it's mind-boggling.
Here's the church. Chiesa di Girolamo.
It's a big door, Lenny. Documents we've had access to show us that San Girolamo is key to the Nazi escape route through Italy. What we need to find out is how did the Catholic Church run such a massive operation? We need to get in and see what we can see. I'm going to take a look around the corner.
I want to get in. I want to get in one way or another. I want to get in. Nothing?
Nothing.
Why do you have this huge church and you can't get in the front door? St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City.
Open all the time.
Every door is open.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to find anything. It's hidden away. What we need to do is find somebody who knows what's hidden behind the walls of this church. So, do you think this is our contact?
It is. Matteo.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
The team makes contact with Professor Matteo Napolitano, who serves on the Vatican's Historical Committee and has extensively researched the activities of the Catholic Church during and after the Second World War.
Matteo, we have a document which puts this church right at the heart of the escape lines through Rome.
Questa chiesa, in effetti, San Girolamo, è stata al centro azione di salvataggio degli ex nazisti.
So this church, San Girolamo, was in fact the safe house for the escapes to get out of Italy. In my world, that's called harboring and aiding and abetting a fugitive. Is there anything else that San Girolamo was doing aside from being a safe house for the Nazis?
They were organizing documents in order for them to leave. They needed those documents in order to get to South America.
So Matteo, are they printing documents here? Are they forging documents here?
No. Chiedevano documenti alla Croce Rossa che poteva dare documenti veri.
The Red Cross, then?
Founded in Geneva, Switzerland in 1863, the International Red Cross is the oldest humanitarian aid organization in the world. After World War II, millions of displaced European refugees relied on the Red Cross. They provided documentation and papers, issuing over 120,000 temporary passports by the end of 1951. If the church provided approval, Nazi war criminals using false identities could gain legitimate paperwork and passports through this system.
The Red Cross was actually producing legitimate documents with false identities.
Unbelievable.
The documents were secure, so if they had those documents, they could easily get out of Rome.
Go anywhere.
And they can hide in plain sight.
We've seen escaping Nazis being baptized into the church under new names. Their next step is Rome, where under that new name, they will get a real passport. Once they've got that, they're home free. You leave with the blessing of the Catholic Church and the International Committee for the Red Cross. You could not be safer.
That's too easy.
That's the way it worked.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
This is the last piece of the puzzle, eh? But who did the church in Rome help to get out of Europe?
Ma certamente è anche difficile capire.
Very difficult to understand because once they got these legal documents, it was very difficult to figure out.
They're gone. We know that thousands of Nazis are flooding down the rat lines to Italy, to Rome. The question now is who could have got out of Europe using the southern escape route through Rome and out to South America. It's something we need to know.
This is where we're going.
Yep, looks like it.
With the help of their local contact, Lenny and Gerard have secured an exclusive meeting with a woman who is believed to have groundbreaking information about the Nazis' southern escape route.
Hi, I'm Gerard.
Gisela Heidenreich, the daughter of a senior SS officer, has agreed to share her first-hand knowledge with the team.
We know that a group within the organization of the Catholic Church who were involved in the escape of Nazis after World War II using the southern escape route. Now we need to find out who they helped and aided to get out of Europe. We understand from our contact that you may have specific information about who actually may have used these rat lines and escaped.
I definitely have a lot of specific information about the guy named Horst Wagner.
Horst Wagner.
A high-ranking diplomat and officer in the SS, Horst Wagner earned a place within Hitler's elite inner circle, serving at the Foreign Ministry in Berlin for the duration of the war. Wagner was accused of war crimes for his role in the murder of 350,000 Jews, but managed to escape and never faced the charges.
He fled, and I know he walked down the red line and he went to Southern America.
How do you know this specifically? Where is that coming from?
Because my mother had a long-lasting affair with him. After my mother's death, I found a bunch of letters down in the basement. In these letters, he says how he escaped. I also have the original letters she wrote to him.
So you have the conversation between the two lovers?
Yeah.
You have both sides of the conversation. That's unheard of.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
How many letters did you find?
It's about 200.
Can we see those letters?
Gisela grants the team an unprecedented look at her collection of hundreds of original letters, detailing every step of the Nazis' southern escape route.
Here are some original. See, this is his original handwriting.
It's amazing. And this is potentially key to the investigation. Horst Wagner and Gisela's mother, they thought that these letters were in secret. That's why I think this is actually the whole truth. This is real. It's massive.
How does he get out of Germany? How does he escape?
He gets connection with the Catholic Church. He was not Catholic, but he went there because he got a Red Cross visa.
Is this written in these letters?
I have this here. I can quote it. He writes, Finally, I can give you some new information. There's some advocate who would help to get a new passport. All of a sudden, he's somebody named Peter Ludwig, of course, false name.
Original documents in a different name. Then what?
He writes that he first went down to Austria, to Old Aussee, where Kaltenbrunner was.
Kaltenbrunner led from here to a hunting lodge that was up in the Dead Mountains here.
We're talking about Ernst Kaltenbrunner, number 2 in the SS.
Yes.
And then he went by foot over the Alps, over the Brenner, and stayed overnight in Schloss Labas.
If you want a system that can help Nazis post-war, this is about as good as it gets.
These are the places that we've gone and looked at, walked the ground and investigated.
He's pretty much just dropping breadcrumbs on this rat line and the route that he took.
And then he arrives here in Rome.
So Gisela, when he finally decided to leave Rome, where did he go to?
He went over to Argentine, to Buenos Aires.
He finally made it to South America. Wagner's a very, very senior Nazi, a close member of Hitler's circle. What we have now is a connection between Adolf Hitler, the network, and the Southern Escape Route. This route is used by the most senior governmental and SS officer class that you can think of. The idea that Adolf Hitler may have been one of them, it's a possibility. So Gisela, you've helped us flesh out the southern rat line, coming out of Germany, through Bavaria, down through Austria, into the Tyrol, to Rome, and then from there, all roads lead to Argentina. That's not just connected all the dots for us. That's drawn a big black marker line through the whole of Europe. This is amazing. It looks like that's it for Europe. We have found the very end of the Southern Escape Route. Next stop, Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Next time on Hunting Hitler.
He remembers there was a crash and a splash. He saw it from here.
Have you ever heard that there were Nazis on this airplane? He's scared. Hey, right here.
Holy sh**. If you want corroborating evidence, this is it right here.
This is massively significant. This was part of a Nazi shuttle service all throughout South America. The spinner was operating in Argentina.
Correct.
This is them counting every single dollar of them moving people from Europe to Argentina and South America. Recognize any of these people?
It's Joseph Mengele, Auschwitz's angel of death.